Hey friends, welcome back. We are in week 6 of this journey together for 52 weeks to an organized home and balanced life. Are you feeling a little bit better in your home? I know personally I am. I am loving my kitchen done. I'm loving that last week I went through all of my storage of my media in that little area over there. I'm like, okay, that makes me feel a whole lot better. So this week we're gonna keep moving forward. So this week we're gonna focus on refreshing, not just our homes, but also our bodies and our spirits. We're gonna work on deep cleaning and refreshing our soft furnishings in our living room. So that means your sofas, your cushions, your throw blankets, pillows, things that collect dust, stains, and odors over time. We're gonna make them feel brand new again. And then we're also gonna be focusing on hydration, a simple habit, but one that has a huge impact on your mood, your energy, and your overall well-being. And thirdly, we're gonna plant something, whether it's a houseplant, an herb, or a little garden outside. This is a beautiful way to connect with God's creation and witness His power in bringing life and renewal. Each of these tasks contributes to peaceful, refreshed homes and a stronger, healthier you. So let's grab our cleaning supplies, a large glass of water, and get started. Okay, let's talk about our soft furnishings in our home. Our couches, our pillows. This is where everybody likes to lay their head on. I can't say that everybody in my household takes a shower every time they sit on the couch. They take showers daily, but I can't say they do. Oh, wait, and this one, Maxine walks outside. Her paws have dirt. We all have things that get on the soft furnishings in our homes. It happens in our life. You could be one of those strict moms that have plastic over your couches, nothing wrong with that, or not allow anybody on the couch unless you just sit there and not touch anything else. In our home, it's a used well couch. We sit here, we may even eat on here and have snacks on here and lay here, and they'll be sometimes hot and sweaty and they'll sit on here. They'll be sick, they'll be laying on here. We use our soft furnishings. So they do collect dust, grime, pet hair, and sometimes, if we're a little honest, a little bit of life's messes. Yeah. So refreshing these pieces doesn't have to be overwhelming. Just take it step by step and you will see a big difference. So let's start off right away with prayer. When you're starting a big job, just like everything, I think the biggest for me a few weeks ago was the appliances, deep cleaning those. That takes a lot of time, and sometimes it's not as enjoyable as like weeding out a DVD section in your drawer. So if this is something that seems like it's gonna be an overwhelming task for you, start with prayer. Lord, thank you for this home and the comfort that you've given to me. Give me strength and focus as I refresh the space, and let it be a place of peace and joy for my family. Amen. So let's go step by step and clean out your couch. You ready? All right, first let's declutter. Let's go through and get everything off. Let's take the pillows off. Let's get all the blankets off. Let's get everything taken off so that we can have a nice clean surface to work with. I'm gonna be vacuuming my couch out, so I'm gonna take off all of the cushions so that I can clean the inside of the couch, because I know there's a lot of stuff hidden deep inside. So when you're vacuuming, use a vacuum with an upholstery attachment to go over the entire sofa. Don't forget those crevices and those seams. You might be surprised at what you find hiding in there. I had to laugh because we were missing the piece to our vacuum forever. And it's a little stick tool, and I'm like, you can't clean anything out without that piece. And so I just happened to look one day and someone had taken it off in my office and set it on a shelf like under my heat press. And I'm like, I know it wasn't me because I do not use that regular vacuum upstairs at all. I'm like, I use the robot vacuum. So I'm like, someone stuck it there, and it took us weeks and weeks to find it, but we did find it, so I was thankful. So I'm gonna vacuum out all the nooks and crannies in this couch. There is a lot. As I'm doing it, I'm taking it apart and finding a whole lot of stuff in here, and pencils. We were low on pencils, and I found a whole lot of pencils and a lot of, even some game cards and a lot of stuff in here. So I'm gonna do a huge job. I'm doing mine. Our living room, we can't move our couch anywhere else but right here. So I'm gonna be taking mine and vacuuming and then moving it out and vacuuming behind it and under it as best I can, and even wiping under it because of the way that it's set up in here. It doesn't, even if you take the stick vacuum on a normal day-to-day basis and kind of go underneath it, you still have like the little, corners and the wooden pieces that are in the corners, so dirt and stuff hides behind it. So I was thankful to do a really good job vacuuming. And then I would recommend spot cleaning the stains. If you've got a little stain on there, what I have found is sometimes if you just need a daily, maybe you don't have a carpet cleaner or an upholstery cleaner. I have one, so I'm going to be doing that and going through all of mine and cleaning it out. And so that's what I did. Is I took it, I did it on a day that I knew no one's going to be downstairs here, a day that I can let it sit overnight, and I just went through and carpet cleaned the entire sofa, got it real cleaned and wiped off. And I went back to mine and found like little stains that it just didn't come out. So I took a little dish soap and kind of scrubbed it on there. That'll take it off. I also have Norwex, the laundry detergent. I put some on my Norwex cloth and I kind of scrubbed it. It came right out. So I didn't have any problems. So sometimes even doing the upholstery, it just kind of does like a surface clean, obviously. But then I went back and I was like, okay, went through and there was a few little spots. So I just kind of scrubbed those out and got those done. And then once I did that, one thing I don't usually ever clean underneath and the bottom part with the carpet cleaner. I usually just do the top part of the cushion. I used to do all the cushions and the whole sides, and I thought you never sit on the bottom, so it's really not that dirty. So I just did the top ones, but then this time I took everything off and I did underneath, because when we moved in here, I noticed that like, oh, someone had spilled something in the cushions and it's like stained through on the bottom part of it. So I made sure to scrub that out really well, and I was able to let it sit for a long time so it could dry. So that was something that I did do. I was just very thankful to get that done. It's one of those things that I haven't done. Even the back of the couch, it's up against the wall so you don't see it, but there was one big stain of like red something. I think it got on there in the moving truck, and it's been on there ever since we moved in here, and I never bothered to fix it because you don't see it. So it was just nice to be able to clean that off and get it done. You can also, maybe your covers come off and you can take them off and put them in the washer. Whatever works good to clean them. I took all of our blankets and I washed all of those. I'm going to put those into the washer here, and then they can get a nice cleaning because we use these all the time. All the time. The kids wrap Maxine up in them all the time. So it was good to get these refreshed and washed so they smell nice and clean for the home. Now, as you're finished with everything, thank God for your space and your comfort in your home and the ability to do all that cleaning. Caring for your space is an act of stewardship, and it makes such a difference in how we feel. A lot of people like to do those fabric refreshers on the couch. I have always found that those kind of get soaked into your furniture. I have used them before, but what I have found, it's kind of like the little crystals you put in your laundry. I've had those because my husband requested those, but I found that when you spray it, it just kind of soaks into your couch. So you can make like a natural one out of some water, rubbing alcohol, and a little bit of essential oil drops. Just a little spritzer kind of spray. I do that on my bedding. I use that as my bedding because Maxine lays in there. So I usually use my little roller in there to get the dog hair off, and then I do a little refresher in there. And then it's just something, it doesn't stick to it. It just stays natural in there. So that's just one thing you can do. So now let's talk about hydration. It's one of those simple things that can have a huge overall impact on how we feel in our health. So if I can be honest, there's been days when it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon and I'm like, wow, I've drank coffee today and I've only had a little sip of water. Anybody else? And then maybe my head starts to feel yucky, or maybe I feel a little tired. And sometimes I think, oh, I haven't really eaten. So then I think I'm just hungry, when in reality, I'm just dehydrated. When I stay hydrated, it boosts my energy, improves my mood hugely, and even helps with focus. So let's make that a priority this week. Now, it's gonna be up to you how many glasses of water you drink a day. I think before I used to get so focused on, I need to drink all of this, I need to drink all of this. And I think I've heard and read before to drink half your weight in ounces. So whatever your weight is, drink that half in ounces. Whatever you can do for your days. But just the key is to drink something and to have something. Maybe you don't drink any at all. Yeah, maybe not all. So you know what? Have a glass. Add 1 glass to your day. 1 glass. That wouldn't be too much. And then maybe tomorrow you can add 2 glasses to your day. However that is, I know for myself when I feel sluggish and when I start feeling like tired or I think, oh, I need a coffee. If I just get a glass of water and drink it, usually I'm like, oh, I feel I have energy. I'm good to go now. Or if I think I'm hungry, if I drink something first, I go, oh, I'm really actually not hungry. I'm just dehydrated. That can usually cure a lot of that. Or if you have a little bit of a headache, some things I always tell my kids, drink some water. Maybe you're just dehydrated because that sometimes is the cause. So let's begin and just set a daily goal. Start small. Like I said, if you haven't really done a whole lot, just aim for 1. I'd love to say drink 6 of these a day, but sometimes that doesn't happen. Don't aim big. Just aim for practical and like real of what's going to work in your home. If it's hot outside, you're going to need a little bit more. So sometimes it helps to break up your day as well. Like I know sometimes I think I got to drink 6 of these a day. That doesn't always happen. But if I go, okay, this morning, if I have my coffee, before I have lunch today, I have to make sure that I drink a glass of water. A big glass. And then after lunch, before I have my afternoon coffee or before we go for a walk, I need to make sure I drink another one. And then maybe before dinner, okay, I need to make sure that I have another glass. And then when I'm having dinner, make sure that I drink a glass. And then before bed, however that looks for you, you got to break it up for you, what works good in your life. But sometimes time like that, for me, works really good as a good reminder of when to do it. Now, I know I have read the statistics. I've actually done it myself too and realized how much better I feel. Sometimes when I first get up, if I go get a glass of water in the morning, I feel like way better to start my day. I'm always tempted to grab a cup of coffee. I've been starting to do just black coffee and feel better. But I know when I drink a glass of water first, I feel amazing. You can put like a little splash of lemon in there, a little splash of lime, apple cider vinegar, which I don't really like the taste of that, but if you don't mind it, do that and then drink 1 glass before you start your day. It's a big difference in how you feel. Now, some of us need like a little motivation, so you're gonna have to make it extra and fun. You're gonna have to make some delicious tasting water because maybe you don't like the taste of water. Maybe it's gonna be, you're gonna need some motivation. So there is a ton of different things you can do. You can get fun water bottles. You can get all the fancy ones. You can get the ones with the markings on it so you know how much you have to drink. You can get those fruit infused ones where you put fruit in there and it just kind of coats the water. I think that's kind of a genius thing. You can put some different leaves in here. You can buy these fancy water drops to put in there. Whatever you're gonna do, I like using fruit flavored tea bags, like a berry one. So it doesn't have the sweetness, but it just has the flavor. That to me is really good to put in there. You wanna avoid, it's sometimes like sugary drinks. I understand if you're trying to maybe cut back on sodas or something and you want to go to a sugary one, but if you want the benefits of just the water, so think just plain tea, not sugary tea. Think like these have these have no sugar, 0 sugar, but just a little bit in there to help make the difference. If you need a little boost to drink it, like think the herbal teas, even coconut water is a good alternative as well. But good old-fashioned water, there's nothing like it. And so drinking it sometimes with ice, putting in a straw, use a straw, anything to help you motivate to drink it. I was using my water bottle forever, and then I found that I just like drinking from a glass. So I find that if I just put a glass on my counter with no ice, I'll drink it. If it's really hot, I'll put ice in it. But if it's just sitting out, I'll drink it before it gets warm. Or if I see it sitting there, I'll go, okay, make sure that you finish your water. So whatever you like, it doesn't have to be anything fancy, but if you need that motivation, you're gonna have to do something. If you need to really pay attention, get the water bottle and then drink that all up. Okay, good to go. Before I have my coffee or before I do such and such thing, or if you can do glasses, just drink a few glasses each day and then you can kind of keep track. But the key is just being mindful of it. Another thing you can do is set reminders on your phone. We have the great, wonderful thing with phones all the time by us or on your watches. Set reminders, timers, so that you constantly remember, oh, drink water, drink water. That's a good way if you need a reminder for your day. And what you can do, an extra tip, is when you're drinking your water, turn it into a prayer break. Take the moment when you're drinking to say a prayer for somebody else or maybe for yourself for your day. Now, the third thing we're going to do this week is we are going to plant something. Now, this might be your favorite. This might not be your favorite. I am not a green thumb person. I don't really enjoy it. I thought I would. If anybody watches me, you know what I did last year. I tried growing stuff outside in the hot Florida sun, which was never smart and wise to do. And I was like more disappointed than not, but it's okay. It's not something I love. We had gardens in Michigan, huge gardens where we use the rototiller and we do a lot of that stuff. I canned a lot of our vegetables. We had the little container gardens. We had the raised garden beds where we did those. I realized I don't enjoy growing things. I just don't. Some people love it. Some people enjoy doing it, and that's beautiful. Myself, I don't. But having something close to nature that you can kind of grow it makes it like a little accomplishment that, okay, you keep this thing alive. There's something so beautiful and biblical about planting things. It reminds us that God is always working. He's growing and he's renewing us constantly. That's a beautiful, good reminder. In 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 6, it says, Apollos watered, but God gave the increase. So whether you choose to plant, a flower, something from seed, or maybe just something simple like green onions, that simple act connects you with God's creation and brings a sense of peace and renewal. For myself, like I said, I tried things last year, they did not grow. I like having fake plants in my house because I feel like they grow. But I did buy one of these. What is this called again? This is my mom's plant. It is a Christmas cactus. I was like, what is this called? Now, I bought one last year, not last year, the year before. And I thought, I'm going to keep this thing alive. My mom passed away. She had given me so many different clippings off of hers. And and every time she's like, you can't kill it, Amy. You're going to keep, and she did wonderfully on her gardens and grew things and just beautiful, beautiful things. And so I'm like, Mom, I'm not going to be able to, it's going to die. And without fail, that plant died. And so I got one I bought, not last year, the year before, and it sat up here, it died. So I got another one this year. I was walking by it and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this again. I'm going to try this again. And so I did. And you know what? It's growing. It's not dead. And so I even was walking around our neighborhood and one of my neighbors was throwing away her pot right here. And I'm like, ooh, there's a pot just for this. So I put it inside here. It's got space in the bottom, someone told me, and it's still growing. So I'm very thankful. And it's not even that it's doing anything. It's not like bringing me great joy, but to be able to go buy it every week and every day and go, it's still growing. It's not dead. It like brings something inside that just makes me go, okay, God, you're renewing things still. And even like these plants in my days. And we also got some succulents that another person said that these would grow really well and without fail. And so I thought, so I gave one to each child and they had the chance to see if they would grow. There's one did die, but the rest grew really well. And so they were sitting in the room and not getting much sun. So I said, well, I put them down here and I put them across my sink. And these are still growing very well. And I'm like, okay. So again, it's those little things to see it and go, yeah, it is growing. It makes you feel a little good inside. So how do you plant something? For one, you ask the Lord, what is something you should do? Should you go out and get something where you can do a little garden in your backyard? Can you do a potted garden where you can grow a tomato plant or grow cucumber plants? Or should you just plant some flowers somewhere? I don't know, maybe just a house plant. I don't know what your situation is, but pray about and ask the Lord, what is something you can grow? Pick something that fits your space and your lifestyle. If you don't have the ability to grow things outside, I understand that. Then grow something in your window. I have enjoyed, I tried the whole tomato and cucumber thing outside, and now this did not go well because it's so hot. It's so hot, and I get that. But you know, something I do enjoy that I grew were green onions. Those things thrive through the Florida sun, and it was such a great thing. So what I did is when I got my green onions from the store, you know, you use 1 and 2, and then they don't do well after a while, and then you end up throwing them away. So you cut off the bulb part, and you keep the bulb. I put mine now, they say put them in water, put them in the window every day, rinse off that water. I did that. And then as they start growing more and more and coming up the new shoots, then you can go plant them outside in a pot. Now, one time I just took them and didn't bother doing that and just stuck them out in the pot. It just took longer. So if you skip that step, just know it's going to take you longer. So that's an easy, great way. Get some potting soil, put in a pot. Doesn't even have to be that big. And what I did is, like I said, just cut them off. You can get a whole thing of green onions for 50 cents. You can have a whole lot of green onions for quite a long time. And then just cut off the bottom whites, use the green part, chop them up for recipes, and then take that bottom, put them in just a bowl. They're going to move around and flip around because there's no way to keep them all up. Put them in a window. Every day, go over and keep rinsing the water. Keep rinsing the water every single day so they don't get moldy. And then pretty soon they're going to start growing new green shoots out of them. Okay, then take them and go pluck them in that dirt. Just push them down and they will do amazing. This summer last year, they grew so tall and big in my little pot. I was amazed. I was like, it was so great. I have onions, but it was nice going out and getting green onions for dishes, just to put on as fresh. It was a great thing. And so I have found that they do 4 rotations of the onion and then they die. But it could just be that it was more turning winter here in Florida that they died, but it was still kind of warm. So then what I did is I got some new ones and put them in there, and they're starting to grow again. It's starting to be more summery here, but it's just beginning to start growing. So that is a very easy way. If you are not very skilled, get some green onions. Just go to the produce section. They don't have to be organic or anything else. Just go get yourself a bunch of green onions, cut them off, put them in your window. Don't forget to keep rinsing them, and do that. That's an easy way you can do that. Or you can start growing them in your window with a little bit of seeds and do a veggie or a little flower. Now, the one thing you want to do is prepare your soil. Get yourself a bag of dirt, and then you want to make sure that your pot has drainage. Not all pots have holes in the bottom. I did not know this. I thought for sure they would have holes in them if they're supposed to be holes. No, not all do. So you might have to drill a couple holes in your pots to make sure that your water does drain out. Otherwise, everything molds. And make sure you read if you're having a flower that you're planting outside, read the instructions. It'll tell you how deep, how much to water it, how much sunlight it needs. Those will be all keys to what you and how your plant does. And just like our faith, plants need tending. They need care and patience to grow. Use watering when you water your plants as a time of reflection and prayer with the Lord. I like to go outside. I really enjoyed in the summer going outside and watering my plants at night. It was very peaceful, even though they were all dying. Even though the disease came and ate them, as they were growing really well, then they started getting all diseased. It was like, oh my goodness. But it was still nice to go out there and water them. So something refreshing about doing that time alone. I think growing up, that was I think my mom probably really enjoyed it because I know at night she would go and take her hose and water all her plants every night. And it would take for a long time because she had a really big yard and she just went out and hosed. She had her sprinkler going for a lot, but she would take her hose and water all her plants every night. And I still remember doing that as a kid, and that was still enjoyable, going out and, okay, let me go water these, and just a quiet moment that you can take outside. It's beautiful. And then as your plant grows, celebrate that life. Like my plants all died and I was like, oh, but then when I did it again, I was able to celebrate my little Christmas cactus growing. I was able to celebrate my green onions growing. My succulents are still alive. That excites me each week. I come out, I'm like, it's still alive. It's still going. It's like a good thing. All right, friends, that is week 6. This week we are refreshing our space, our bodies, and our spirits. And I know that you're gonna feel so good by the end of it because I know how I feel. Just cleaning your couches, I feel like makes a whole huge difference in overall how I feel. Because I'm like, that's clean, it's fresh, it smells good, it's a good thing. So let me know in the comments if you're gonna plant something this week. I don't know. And I know it's the cooler region for some places, but it's the perfect time to start some seeds inside. It doesn't have to be big. There's so many, you can type in on the internet and find a whole lot of ways. And I'm sure maybe people can give some directions and some suggestions in the comments below of some simple things somebody can plant in a little pot on a windowsill or something on a porch. So all you green thumbs out there, those people that do so much better at that than I am, give your wisdom and your advice because you're probably going to help someone out. And remember, if you would like to follow along in my book, 52 Weeks to an Organized Home and Balanced Life, this goes through and it breaks everything down, what we're doing on the video. I'm talking through the video, but you can get a preview of everything we're going to be doing for the next year. Or maybe you have a friend that hasn't started, or maybe you haven't started and you want to get the book and start in the beginning. Maybe you don't want to watch videos each week. You just want to be able to read something. It's a good thing to get. And then if you need a little motivation, get the bag. And remind yourself that you've thrived by God's promises one step at a time. It takes one step at a time to get better at this. One step at a time to have a cleaner home. One step at a time to go, okay, I got a little bit of growth in my days. I'm able to keep a plant alive. Look how much water I drank today. I feel so much better. It's those one little small changes in your days that makes a whole lot of difference. So keep going, keep trusting, and remember, God is working in every little effort that you make. So I will see you again next week. All right, bye.